بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه وصلوات الله وسلامه على نبينا الأمين أما بعد. One of the community members came to me a few days ago to suggest the topic of the khutbah, and the topic is an important topic. And it was the topic of the religious, ethical, moral responsibility, the civic duty, the social responsibility that we have as a Muslim community to do something about fostering and sponsoring some of the children that are here in this country. 4,000 Muslim kids have come from all over the world, especially from Syria. When the brother asked me to do this khutbah, I said to him, nah, I don't think so. Not because the topic isn't important, but because I don't want to whistle in the wind. I give a khutbah that will fall on deaf ears, and I don't mean that in a negative way. What I mean by that is, we're fathers. In our own families, we are in jihad as it relates to our own children. The father from amongst us who is having itqan and he's really good at being a murabbi, being a father and a husband, he's a minority. He's not the norm. But most of us are struggling. Some of us have children right now who are giving us drama and trouble. So it's not ma'qul, doesn't make any sense whatsoever for someone to say to a man who that's his condition, in his own house, there's a kumbala mishakil. We're going to say to him, add on to your problems, more challenges. So I don't want to give a khutbah like that, and I'm just talking, whistling in the wind. And once again, I repeat, one of the reasons why we give the khutbah in English is because we don't want to whistle in the wind. We want people to understand what the khutbah is about. We want people to understand and comprehend. 95, 98% of the people in this masjid understand English. The minority of them, the minority. It's only a few of us. If this khutbah was only in Arabic, most of us wouldn't understand what benefit is that. So I'm not a person who wants to stand up and whistle in the wind. Give a khutbah about an issue on Mars, and we're right here on planet Earth. So I said to the brother, listen, I got a suggestion. Go around to the other masajid here in Liverpool and ask all of the other imams. Let us cooperate between ourselves. As Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَتَعَاوُنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوُنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. Let the masajid cooperate between ourselves on al-birr and on fear Allah. Tell all of those imams to talk about this issue this Friday, and I'll talk about this issue this Friday, inshallah. And this way it will be more impactful, it will be more meaningful to raise the awareness of our community as it relates to this issue. So it would be more effective if we found out all of the masajid are giving this message. So he did that. And all of those imams, Jazakumullahu khairan, they agreed. So this is the message in every masjid in Liverpool today. Raise the awareness. Now, you may be that father, la samahallah, arjun la yakun al-amr huwa kadhalik. You're that father who you have drama in your family. 2 kids, 3 kids, 4, 5, 6 kids, and you added on to your situation. As I said, I'm not talking to you. I'm not encouraging you. You know your situation better than me. But there may be someone in this masjid who, him and his wife, never had children. They don't have children. There may be someone who has 1 child, 2 child, 3 kids, but their family life is smooth. They can afford one more situation. I'm talking about those people who have the ability, to consider this issue. The other issue with Khwani is, as I said, this is an ethical responsibility, a religious obligation upon us. Some of these kids are orphans. Some of them are separated from their parents. Some of them are young, some of them are teenagers. The whole gamut is represented in terms of the spectrum of these kids. But I would say this, it's a religious obligation to do something about it because of those ayats of al-wala wal-bara. Allah mentioned in the Quran, al-mu'minun wal-mu'minat, awliya, ba'duhum awliya'u ba'd. the Muslims, the believer, men and women, they're responsible for each other. وَلَنْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ السَّبِيلًا. Allah has not given the non-Muslims a way over the believers. They can't be our awliya. So it becomes our responsibility to do something about it. If you cannot sponsor a kid, foster a kid, get involved, come to the seminar, come to the program, what's going to be done, inshallah, on November 4th, is give you the community an insight into this challenge. But what we can't do is be indifferent about it. Another issue. The orphan in Al-Islam has a tremendous position. And in our masjid, on this floor, the second floor, the third floor, where the women are, downstairs, upstairs, we have people who are orphans themselves. So one of the things I try to do from this minbar is try to speak on behalf of everybody in the community. I want to speak on behalf of the reverse, so people can be sensitive to our plight, our situation. Like when the Eid comes, we're alone, we don't have family members, so invite us to your homes. We try to speak on behalf of everybody, the elders, the youngsters, everybody in the community. So in our community, there are those orphans. And the orphan in Islam, we have religious responsibility, civic, ethical responsibility, moral obligation towards them. The Nabi of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Muhammad, he himself was a yateen, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which goes to show it is not inherently bad to be an orphan. Allah mentioned to him in the Quran, telling him about a ni'mah, أَلَمْ نَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. Didn't we find you as an orphan, Ya Muhammad? Your father died when you were young. And the orphan is the one who dies and he loses his father when he's young. Once he reaches the age where he can defend himself and depend on Allah and then himself, he's not an orphan. If he loses his father, he's 15, 16, 17, he's not an orphan. The orphan is the one who loses his father at that critical time when he needs his father there to take care of him and to protect him. We have boys and girls, men and women in this masjid who grew up like that. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the imam of the yatama sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What's the meaning of the ayah? We found you as an orphan and then we gave you a ma'wa. We gave you someone who sponsored you. So when the Prophet was an orphan sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his grandfather Abdul Muttalib took care of him and fostered him. After his grandfather died, his uncle Abu Talib took care of him and sponsored him and took care of his responsibilities. The Nabi came and Rasul and the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he also fostered people. Not one, not two, not three, multiple people. Now I want you guys to understand, Ummah al-Islam. There's a companion by the name of Zayd ibn Haritha radiyallahu anhu. The Prophet ﷺ adopted him. And it's called the tabanni in Al-Islam. When you adopt, adoption is not permissible in Al-Islam. Every man here, you have your own child. And from the dururiyat al-khamsa, the 5 things that Islam came to protect, it came to protect your lineage. You cannot take an outside child and adopt him and give him your name. Change that kid's name from his father to yours. That's from the major sins. We're not calling anyone to adopt. Adoption is not permissible in our deen. But you foster, you sponsor. This is what we're asking you to do. From the great scholars of Islam, Al-Imam Ahmed, Al-Imam Al-Shafi, Al-Imam Al-Bukhari, Rahmatullah alayhi, and other than that, all of them grew up as orphans. Their mothers didn't get married after they lost their husbands. So that meant people from the community stepped forward and took care of those 3 men, and they became from the ulama of Islam. From the participation and the efforts from the people who are in the community. Unfortunately, today, Al-Islam, the Muslims, not Al-Islam, we're not practicing Al-Islam on that level, where the brotherhood of Al-Islam is correct. We have hatred, enmity, animosity, su'adhan. We have a lot of issues between ourselves. We have a lot of issues between ourselves. Back then, the salaf of this ummah that I told you, radiyallahu anhum, are the blueprint for success and the way of this religion. Without ghulu, without tafrit and ifrat, being in the middle. We look at how they dealt with these issues, and it is ayat upon ayat about the understanding of brotherhood in Al-Islam. So since the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an orphan, he tasted the marara of being an orphan. He lived the reality, although he was the Sayyid of Bani Adam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but he was an orphan. So Allah commanded him with a lot of do's and don'ts as it relates to the orphan. And by default, He ordered us as well, prohibited us, commanded us, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ Ya Muhammad, as it relates to the orphan, do not be rough with him. Don't be tough with her. Don't leave them out where they have difficulty. Don't make a qahr over the one who's an orphan. You have to make their sabil, you have to make their hayat as comfortable and as easy as you possibly can. And Allah has described those people in the Quran who do not take care of the orphan. They're rough and tough with the orphan. They're neglectful of the orphan. They're indifferent towards the orphan. He said that these people have an issue with Yawm al-Qiyamah. He mentioned in the Quran, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمِ. Do you not see the one who disbelieves in Yawm al-Qiyamah? He doesn't believe there's going to be Yawm al-Qiyamah. There's going to be a hisab. It's going to be asked question. Who is the one who disbelieves in Yawm al-Qiyamah? The one who is rough and tough towards the orphan. Rough and tough can mean physically being rough with him. Rough and tough, verbally being abusive. Rough and tough, leave them to fend for themselves. They have a religious obligation to do something about it in our religion. So the companions, Radwanullahi alayhim, like you, right here in Toxteth or wherever you live, wherever you live in Liverpool, we have our community. We've all come together. The companions had their community in Medina. Radwanullahi alayhim. Anything that was important to them, they used to ask the Prophet about those important issues. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنَ الْمَهِيدِ وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنَ الْأَهِلَّةِ وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ. They used to ask over and over 20 ayat saying, they ask you about this, they ask you about that, they ask you about this. Over 25 ayat, because they wanted to know. Just as there are over 22 ayahs talking about the adab and the ahkam of the orphan. Nowhere in the world that a Muslim in his right mind, who is aware, conscious, can neglect the importance of this issue. Whether you accept being a person who's going to sponsor an orphan or not, as a Muslim part of your deen, from the beginning of that Quran to the end of that Quran, every issue is important from this Risala. And part of the importance of this book is that the orphan has been mentioned 22 times. So the companions knew it was important, so they came. And Allah mentioned, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنَ الْيَتَامَى. They ask you about the orphan, Ya Muhammad. They ask you, they want to know. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, the rest of them, may Allah be pleased with them, they want to know, Ya Rasulullah, what are our duties and obligations toward these people and this category of people in our community? It's so important. قُلْ إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ. Tell them, rectifying the condition of the orphan is good. Whatever his condition is, you try to come and enhance it and make it better in the way that you have the ability to do so. You're a person who has money, then give to them. Fi sabilillah. You're the person who has the opportunity and the ability to do it, then do for them. Now I want to bring this to your attention because it's part of the equation and it's important. In this country we had this issue of the Muslim man relying on the nafaqah of the kuffar. I don't say that's haram, and I'm not here to get in anybody's business. But for the Muslim man to sit back and not to go out and work, it is better for you to sit at one of these traffic lights when the cars stop, you go and wash the windows, than to ask people, give me, give me, give me, or to receive from non-Muslims. The upper hand is better than the lower hand, and that's when the upper hand is a Muslim hand. What about when the upper hand is a non-Muslim hand? This is a social problem that we have in the UK. Ala kullin, one of the ways that a man can get halal rizq is this government will give you money and will help you if you sponsor one of these kids. This government will come forward, and this is from the positive aspects of the UK society. There are two extremes as it relates to Europe, UK, and America. There's that Muslim who says everything that they do is beautiful, it's from Jannah al-Islam, they're better than the Muslims. You have ghulu and dhulm. The other extreme is the one who says they're no good. dirty, stinking, no good kuffar with najasa. No, that's extreme. I look at the audience and the sea of different colors, faces, and ethnicities. We've come from other places, and we found istiqrar here, and amin, and salama. So we're going to say to you clearly that this is one of the most positive aspects of British society, that the government will pay you money, depending upon your situation. Do you work? Do you not work? How many other children do you have? Where you live? This government will pay you money to sponsor an orphan, to foster a child, or 2 or 3. And I know people have no educational background, but they were hustlers and grinders and hard workers. They went to the government and they took care of 7, 8 orphans, 7, 8 people, fostering 7, 8 children. And that's their job. It's not easy, but it's an honorable job. Not only do you get money, but at the same time of getting money, you're doing khidmah to the society, especially if they happen to be Muslims, so it's an opportunity. But if you do this, I have to mention this because it's serious. If you do decide to put your foot in the arena in this realm, then you have to be careful of sponsoring an orphan, fostering an orphan, and you're just going to take the money and slap the kid around. You're just going to take the money and abuse the child in any shape, form, or fashion. That's one of the major sins in Islam. What the companions were afraid of, may Allah be pleased with them. Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا مَالَ الْيَتِيمِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ, for the one who wants to do this. And also from amongst us are those who are already responsible for orphans. Orphans, our sister's son or daughter. Our brother that died, his son or daughter. Some of us have land back where we come from. It belongs to the orphan. It's been in our charge, the money of the orphan. And we're devouring their monies and properties with what is batil. If you're thinking about doing this and you would like to do it, stay out of the arena. If you don't have the discipline to not be an alligator, tumsah, wherever the money comes from, that's what you want to take. By hook or crook, halal, haram. Don't devour the money of the orphan. Don't approach it. Don't come close to it, except to enhance it. Billati hiya ahsan. There's another ayat of the Quran showing that taking the money of the yatim is from the 7 mubiqat, the 7 sins that will destroy you. It's not just a regular sin, it's from the kaba'ir. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا وَسَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا. Those people who devour and eat the money of the orphan with not justice, no justice. They only put in their stomachs the fire of hell, and they're going to go into the hellfire. So I want to repeat, because as the imam here, having an opportunity to talk about this issue, I can't sponsor an orphan. Personally, I'm not going to sponsor an orphan. But one thing that I can do is use this member right here, to use my lisan right here, perchance, perhaps, someone from amongst you, 1, 2, 3 people, if it's just one, I feel I did my job, inshallah, I helped. You have to get in where you fit in, get in your lane, you try to do what you can do, with what is reasonable and within your ability. So I say, do not even think about it if you just want to make some quick cash to oppress someone. One of the great companions of the Prophet ﷺ, he was a zahid, sahib, and wara, a man who was not into this dunya. None other than Abu Dharr al-Ghafari. Abu Dharr al-Ghafari was from those people who used to fast all the time, pray all the time, and he was not afraid of anybody when it came to the haqq of Allah. The Amir al-Mu'mineen, no matter who you were, he would advise you. Obviously, when he advised the Amir al-Mu'mineen, he did it with knowledge, he did it with adab and hikmah, he did it with respect, no kharuj, not with his lisan or other than that. But the point is, he wasn't scared of anybody. May Allah make us men like Umar, not afraid of anybody, white, black, Muslim, a lot, a little, whatever the case may be. Prophet Muhammad loved this man, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, gave him advice. He said to him, Ya Aba Dharr, inni uhibbu أحب لنفسي وإني أراك ضعيفا فلا تأمرن على اثنين ولا تولين مال اليتيم. Hey, you Abu Dhar, with all of this deen that you have, all of this zuhd, all of salat, all of what you have, I love you for the sake of Allah. And I want for you the same thing I want for myself. So I'm going to invite you, Abu Dhar, because I see you as a weak man. Weak. I see you as a weak man. He said, do not become the emir over two other people. You're the third one, let one of them be the emir. So for anybody who's going to take responsibility for this masjid or any masjid, it is not a joke. It is لا تأمرن على اثنين. Hey, Abu Dhar, with all that salat, taqwa, all of what you upon, don't be the one, two people, not 4,000, 5,000, two people. Don't be the emir. And don't take responsibility for the money of the offering. Don't do it. Don't put yourself in the arena. It is a serious issue. It's the responsibility of the community, Ikhwani, to do and to make ikram to the orphan in our deen, to take care of them, clothe them, feed them, be after them, looking out for them. I believe if this community was really hitting on all cylinders, without the tafarruq, that group of ghulat over there, this group over here, they doing their thing, another group, they have another hadaf, another group has, and we're all over the place. We're not hitting on all cylinders. As a result of that, we have to put fires out. If this community was hitting on all cylinders, only Allah knows that the sky is the limit in terms of the things that we could be accomplishing here. Helping the orphans and other than that, Islamic school and other than that. But we have to stay stuck on stupid and our feet dragging in molasses because we can't get beyond our own personal agendas. And I'm going to call it how it is. So as it relates to the orphan al-Islam, we have a religious responsibility. And the insane thing is, as we are in ghafla, mu'ridun, and we're living here, some of us don't realize we're not only going to be asked about our own situation. You didn't pray, you did this, you did that, you didn't do this, you did this, you did that. As a community, we're going to be asked questions. Collectively, what are you doing? What did you do? And it's not even an issue we're thinking about. Some of the people think they're getting close to Allah by helping this thing, and then attribute to the salaf of this ummah. Hey, yeah, that's guru, that's dhulm, and your tasawwur, and what you understanding. Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran that the person in this religion, so many ayat 22, we have to take care of these people. Allah praised the believers. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. The believer is the one who, although he loves food himself, he benefits from food himself, but he's going to feed the one who is a prisoner, the one who is miskeen, and he's going to feed the orphan, help the orphan. That's our deen. That as a community, we have a responsibility. Again, I want to repeat. I know that the vast majority of you are sitting there, and you're like me, and I'm like you. I'm in jihad right now. I'm in jihad to protect my daughters and my sons, the big ones and the little ones. I'm going to bring an orphan. That's a tall order. But one thing that I know is that if the person puts his best foot forward with ikhlas and he tries, Allah Azza wa Jalla will help him. There's an ayat of the Quran. Allah told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. Before the battle of Uhud began, they have over 1,000 people in their army. The Nabi only has 313. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam radiyallahu anhum. In the battle of Badr, the biggest, most important, pinnacle war in Islam, he picked up some dirt. The non-Muslims over there, he threw the dirt. Allah said, you didn't throw when you threw, but Allah threw. The Prophet threw, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah was negating in this ayat that the dirt hitting the people in the eyes and blinding them. They're spread out. How in the world is one hand of dirt going to hit all of them and blind all of them? It's going to happen by Allah's permission. That's how. The point here about this ayat is, I may not be able to see myself being able to take care of an orphan. I can't see that. But if I have sincerity, I have a tawakkul, I tie my camel, Allah make it possible. What I don't want from you, Abdullah, Amatullah, Umatul Islam, is that you sit there and everything about the khutbah goes over your head, in one ear out the other, and you're sitting there indifferent. I don't give a damn about them orphans, that ain't my problem. No, that's not our deed. We have a responsibility as it relates to the yatama in this religion. The Nabi of Islam sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Ikhwani informed this community in a number of hadith. And this is a sickness that many people have. May Allah Ta'ala cure everybody of their mental sicknesses and the sicknesses that affect your body. This one has arthritis. That one over there has mental issues. This one over there, he has this, she has that. But the worst sickness is the sickness of the heart. There's a sickness that is rampant in society, and that is having a heart that is qasi, a heart that doesn't cry, a heart that doesn't reflect. You can actually be rough and tough towards Muslims in your mu'amala, and you don't know why. And you really believe that's your religion. You really believe, like we're going to pray, and we believe Allah, inshallah, He legislated this prayer, we're going to pray to Allah. And we believe that, and there's no doubt about it, and that is rewarded, that's ibadah. What about the one who hates you because you're not from his strength of thinking? And he gets close to Allah with that. We have that sickness. So the one who has a hard heart, one of the many remedies for that comes in the orphan. The Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in aradta an yalin qalbaka, if you want your heart to become soft, then feed food to someone who's miskeen. Anybody, old, young, Muslim, non-Muslim, give him some food. And just take an orphan and touch his head. Wamsah ras al-yatim. Just rub the head of the orphan. As we talked last week about Ya'juj and Ma'juj, the Muslim comes today and he says, I don't believe in that. Big birds the size of camels? I don't believe in that. I don't believe that this and that doesn't make sense. He's the same person who's going to read this authentic hadith and say, how in the world can I touch an orphan's hand, his head, and that's going to take the qaswa out of my heart? That person is miskeen. The Prophet said it, and he is as-sadiq al-masduq, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Just do it, just try it. That's the position of the orphan. Innakum turzaquna bi du'afaikum, the hadith said. You people are provided for your rizq because of those who are weak from amongst you. The sick, you're with your mother's staying with you in the house, your father's old staying with you in the house. Don't get upset about that. Have sabr with all of that jihad. Because the risk from Allah is increased as a result of those people who are weak, and from the weakest of the people is the orphan. So we used to say, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma inni ataharraj min ad-da'ifayn fina, al-mar'atu wal-yatim. Oh Allah, I'm concerned, I'm worried, I'm bothered, I'm agitated by the two weak people from our ummah. The woman who's oppressed and the yatim. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله التوفيق والسداد. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Ikhwani, very important. Another issue about a youngster from our community. I think most of you, especially those of us who have Somali as our ethnic background, but not only them, you have heard of our little niece that was murdered unjustly in Manchester. The police there are dragging their feet as it relates to the investigation. I am not a conspiracy theorist, but at the same time, I'm woke. And I know the racism that exists in some of these places, in some of these crevices of the security status, the security services in this country and other than this country. Our community needs to do something about signing the petition to make these people feel and understand that we as a community feel there's a level of responsibility that we have towards that young sister Shukri. Rahmatullahi alayhi. Allah forbid, Allah forbid, Allah forbid. If that were to happen to me, Allah forbid, I will be so sensitive. I want all of you to feel for me. My pain that I lost my baby, my daughter, drowned in the water, drowned. Terrible way to check out. And as a result of that, we hope that shukri is in Jannah. Whoever drowns in Islam goes to Jannah. They're a shaheed. We ask Allah by His Ism al-Azam to make shukri a shaheeda in His cause. Point, we're asking this community, men and women, all of you, to make sure that you sign that petition. Sign the petition that is available there in the masjid today. Take a few minutes out of your time to take some extra steps, perhaps perchance, by doing those steps, fi sabilillah, it'll be that thing that Allah Azza wa Jalla will reward you for. None of you truly believes you love for your brother what you love for yourself. If it was one of our daughters, we want everybody to be on top of this. We ask Allah Ta'ala to make it easy for us and to make it easy for you. Make us truthful in word and deed. Establish our feet upon the Kitab and Sunnah with balance and moderation and understanding. We ask Allah to forgive us for our oppression, our indiscretions, and our mistakes. Aqim as-salah yarhamukumullah.